All right, I'm Pinellas County Sheriff Bob Gualtieri. We're here to talk about an officer-involved shooting involving an officer from the Pinellas Park Police Department. This is being investigated by the Sheriff's Office under the Pinellas County Use of Deadly Force Task Force Agreement. Everything that I'm going to tell you now is very preliminary. It's based on the information that we know at this time. The investigation is still in its infancy, and everything that I'm telling you is subject to change. But in transparency, so that we get the information out to the public, I'm going to tell you what I know happened as we know it at the moment. So the address of the occurred here is 4370 82nd Avenue North, so it's probably about just a quarter mile down behind me on the south side, or behind me on the right. And it's a short-term rental is what it is. And I'm not going to identify the person who was shot. He is deceased because his next of kin has not yet been notified. He rented the location on September 26th. The owner of the short-term rental was concerned about him trashing the place and doing some damage to it. So he called the Pinellas Park Police Department yesterday. The officers came out. There wasn't sufficient evidence of him doing anything improper yesterday to ask him to leave. Just some concern on the part of the short-term rental owner. So his rental period is up today, and the officers told the owner that if he wanted him out and he hadn't left when his rental period was up today, to call, and they would come back and see that he was removed at that point. So that happened at about 11:30 this morning. The Pinellas Park Police Department received a call from the short-term rental owner that said that his rental period was up and that he wanted him out. He was very concerned about what he was doing and damaging the property inside. The officers went to the front door, and the person who was inside, who is a male, came to the front door and had a knife in his hand when he came to the front door, and became very, very confrontational with the officers. He then barricaded the front door. It looks like he probably put some furniture in front of the front door, and in essence, a standoff ensued between the officers and the person who was inside. The officers made contact with him, talked to him by phone. He asked them why they were surrounding this house. They explained to him what was going on, trying to get him to leave, and he refused. There were probably attempts where they didn't make any further contact, probably about 40 times where they tried to contact him to get him to leave, left voicemails, and kept calling and calling, but he wouldn't come out. The owner was insistent that he did want him out, so the officers formed what we call a contact team, which has officers with less lethal, as we call it. These are beanbag type rounds because they knew he had a knife, as well as officers, of course, that have their handguns. So they went in through the garage door, and the owner told them the garage door was accessible. So on the west side of the house, the officers with the contact team with less lethal, knowing he had a knife, as well as, of course, their handguns, went in and they had shields. When they went inside, the subject was inside the living room area of the residence. He refused to follow commands. The officers did use their less lethal rounds, the beanbag rounds, to try and stop him. That didn't stop him, and he went toward Corporal Graham Fox, and he ended up with a knife. He ended up striking Corporal Fox in the upper right shoulder, and he received a very small laceration. He's fine, but he did receive the laceration. So when the subject cut Corporal Fox, Officer Grayson, Greyson, and his last name is hyphenated. It's Ekdale, Ekdal hyphen McBride. Officer Ekdale McBride fired several rounds, striking the subject in the chest area and the upper body area. The subject was taken to the hospital, and he was pronounced deceased at the hospital. That's about what we know at the moment. Again, we still have a lot of interviews to do. We have to process the crime scene. We do have a picture of the knife that he had, that he did lacerate Corporal Fox with, and when he came after Corporal Fox and came after the officers. And this is, again, he came after them after he had been struck with the less lethal rounds, the beanbag rounds. So I'll have our public information office give you a copy of the photo of the knife, and I'll take any questions you have, but that's really what we know at the moment, and is the investigation is still underway. Anybody have anything?
When you said there were several rounds, do you have an approximate?
Probably 4 or 5.
And then you said upper body, you said chest, was the head included as well?
No, he didn't. There was no head shot. He was shot upper body, shoulder area. From the best we know right now, I'm talking about the guy who was shot, who is the suspect in this. It his upper body, mid-chest area.
And was he the only one inside the residence?
Yes. Yep.
Were you familiar with him?
Well, we're still working through that, and I do not know. I don't have any information right now. Again, I'm just trying to get information to you, and this is all preliminary. We don't know whether he has a criminal history. Don't know what his mental health history is. Really don't know anything about him. The last address we had is within the region. I'll say that. Again, I'm gonna be very careful on this because we have not made a positive ID, and we believe we know who he is.